So everybody, welcome back to another live stream. Today I've got my dear friend the Flemface on. We're going to obviously be talking about vegan activism this recent week with the media backlash on obviously vegan activists, and especially obviously Joey Carbstrong and obviously Februdairy as well.
Yes, Februdairy.
Yeah, exactly. There's been an awful lot going on. I say I don't know if you actually seen Janet Street Porter's interview. She was talking about Joey Carbstrong and such likes as well.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, she posted, I think, Plant-Based News had actually posted about it. That she said the ham was denigrated as the flesh of a dead pig and the dead body of an animal that didn't want to die. Joey Carbstrong said the cheese was no better. Carbstrong believed it came from a mother who had her children taken away from her and had hands shoved in her anus, was artificially inseminated by bull semen. She's an absolute clown.
He's a clown. Oh, he believed that's what they did. It was just like, that's what they do. Like, what? Why? There's so much denial and mental gymnastics has to occur in the minds of these people to justify what it is they do.
Yeah, and also as well that Plant-Based News have actually, we were talking about the other night there's actually kind of rumours going about that where vegan activism is actually doing like an underground jihadi type thing. We're actually setting up these groups to obviously learn them how to be militant vegans. This is a kind of rumour that's going about.
What?
They're going to all new levels, to say the least.
They want us to be crazy, because if we're crazy, people won't listen to what we're saying. But as soon as people realise we're reasonable, it turns around. I'm sorry.
That's exactly it, and that's the only thing that I kind of worry about now. Is when you're out doing like vegan outreach and that, you're just going to have to really be very, very kind of vigilant in that, because they're going to pick at anything you say, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, for people like me, I'm overly polite on the street anyway, so it's not like a worry. But I do worry that, yeah, the police or something will start taking it more seriously and not allow you to do it in the first place. I see that happening. I see them not allowing us to do it in the future.
I think that's what it's going to come to, definitely, because they're talking about actually kind of putting us in the kind of risk of like terrorists and things like that. So if we're getting labelled like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of animal rights activists are already deemed terrorists through I think it's more an American thing maybe, but you do have people who have involved themselves in, say, the more ALF stuff, who are in doing long sentences, but I don't know how far they will stretch the line. We're all just militant and crazy because we like potatoes.
That's it. We like potatoes, especially if we live in Scotland.
Exactly. I love potatoes. I'm just crazy.
King Arugula is saying there, he says, yeah, we're going to be packing pea shooters and potato guns soon.
I mean, I just don't. They have to, though. They have to pretend that we are some kind of crazy people who are wrong in the head, who, you know, have something going on that's just not right.
It's the kind of thing that carry on. They keep going on about all these threats and such likes they've had, but there's no one of them actually showed what these threats are. But you look at us, we've got the proof of the threats we've had. We've been threatened by truck drivers, we've been threatened by farmers, slaughterhouse workers, everything. I mean, it's crazy.
I know, and I'm gonna do a video about that lady who said, "Oh, you get death threats."
Yeah,
and when you actually read an article she did for the Daily Express,
she
says, I haven't had any death threats specifically aimed at me. It's just like,
I've actually got that article here. That's it. That she says, "I'll always speak my mind. Meet the young farmer taking the fight to militant vegans." She said, Alison, 20-year-old, she says, the softly spoken 20-year-old veterinary bioscience student has been subjected to a vicious campaign of intimidation. She says her father tends a flock of 1,000 in North Cumberland. She's worked with animals since she could walk, lambing them, rearing them, feeding them, and also sending them to slaughter. I don't know if you've seen her interview in the TV. She said that it's terrible because she goes to sleep at night and she's worrying about her animals and such likes, or what's going to happen to her farm. Yeah, what a coincidence, yeah. I mean, come off it. Did she worry about the animals when they're going to slaughter?
No. I mean, maybe she does. Maybe she feels bad, but I think they're in better, safer hands with vegans, hypothetically, than they are in the hands of a farmer, because they're gonna be met with the blade or the bowl, or that's what's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen in a vegan world, mate. Why would you worry about your animals? What are we gonna do to them? Like.
The strange one I got the other day was from one of the truck drivers that's absolutely stalking me, as you well know. I've showed you about it in the Animal Save.
Oh, yeah.
He sent me a weird message and he says, all you as vegans are trying to tarnish the good reputation of obviously the dairy industry and the agriculture industry by mentioning us as rapists and obviously murderers. He says, at the end of the day, would you be saying the very same thing if you were artificially inseminating your dog or your cat? I thought, what kind of argument's that? Why in the fuck would I artificially inseminate my dog and my cat?
And yeah, you probably would be saying the same thing. Like if someone artificially inseminated, in fact, genius. If someone was artificially inseminating dogs, he would probably say the same thing as you say. He'd probably be like, nah, I right. Like
it's absolutely crazy to me. They'll pick and choose at any kind of thing. Like he obviously mentioned that he says, at the end of the day, he says, I applaud you, as he says, and I applaud you for this reason, because these are shopping in supermarkets. He says, you're actually supporting the animal agriculture industry. He says, so good on you, effing vegans, keep buying from Tesco's and Asda. But like I explained to him, these things only exist because of supply and demand. If we don't obviously shop in Tesco and Asda and such likes that are actually got vegan options, we're only hampering the growth of vegan products coming in. And Tesco especially, like we talked about, Derek Sarno and Chad Sarno setting up the Wicked range, they've actually taken on a plant-based chef to obviously improve things. We don't live in a world at the moment where there's actually dedicated vegan stores, so the only way we're going to improve that is obviously by supporting things like that. It's sad that obviously meat and such likes is in the same supermarket, but they know that, so why ask stupid things like that?
Well, that's the thing, like, even now, we are an incredibly small minority of people. Yeah. But we're growing at such a rate that, yeah, look at the supermarkets. Like, we are growing so quickly, even though we're so small, that a massive supermarket like Tesco are like, right, we have to bring out a whole vegan range, like, and we have to do this now. And the more we do this, the more this is going to happen. Soon, I imagine in 2 years, every single supermarket in the UK will have its own vegan range. It'll be incredibly extensive. Maybe they'll even just get the free from section and extend it and just call it the vegan section. Like,
well, that's it. I mean, like, what is it? Let's say 550,000 there is in Britain alone is vegans, and they say, like, I think it was like 360% rise in vegans over the last decade. So that actually shows how kind of big it's actually grown just in the last 10 years. But even in my time, I remember 2 years ago when I went vegan, there wasn't even a quarter of the amount of vegan food and options that we've actually got now. You've got dedicated aisles now, and especially in Tesco's, like I say, the big free-from range, and then freezers packed with it, obviously the fridges. It's amazing, really.
Yeah, it is, and it's only going to get bigger. And oh my God, the people, like when you, you type in hashtag Februdairy. I don't know if you've done that.
Yeah.
It's a treat. But you see people going back and forth with each other on the hashtag. And it's just like, how have you got yourself to this point where you genuinely cannot see anything wrong with killing an animal And your only justification, the first one they give is, yeah, but they're going to have a good life first. It's just like, how can you not see that even if you were in a situation where someone was going to murder you, but you'd had a good life, or even they had given you a good life, then murdered you, it wouldn't make it okay. Even in like not the non-human context. All right, I have loads of hedgehogs, right? I love hedgehogs so much. I'm a hedgehog lover, and I just raise them and I cuddle them, and then I kill them and put them on my barbecue. People in the UK would go nuts.
It's just like, if you can imagine it, like say your grandmother or whatever, let's say she's 80 years old, you think to yourself, oh, she's had a good life, so I'm just going to grab this pillar and I'm just going to smother her. You go to court and you say, oh, wait a minute, please, judge, just let me off, because my mother had a good life, and at the end of the day, what we done is we butchered her up. We used every single part of her. We made her skin into a good rug. We had a great feast of her. We used every part of the body part, so that means it's okay. That's kind of like what they're saying. If they use every part of the animal, that's okay, because it's had a good life and they've used every part. No parts went to waste. Okay, Ryan.
You'd be going straight to prison for life.
Exactly.
And I don't know. My brain is still fried from my debate last night. I don't know if you've seen Stizel.
I've not actually saw that yet. I'm going to check that out later on. Yeah.
I think I'm going to make a compilation of like the funny bits. I'm not sure yet. Oh my god, it's a lot of swearing. It's hard to understand. It's hard to follow. But one thing that did keep coming up, and this comes up in a lot of people's arguments, is the whole personal choice thing. People cannot separate a personal choice from a choice.
That's it. I mean, like I always say, it's not a personal choice any longer when it involves a victim. Fair enough, you can go out and you can drink yourself to death if you want. That's only affecting you. But when you're making choices, it brings a victim into play. That is not a personal choice.
I know. I was trying to tell him. I was like, yeah. So if I started murdering people, it would not be a personal choice. Of course, it's a choice that I make. It's not a personal one. Then he was upset that I was making it dramatic. So I was like, all right, I punch people in the face. I go around just punching them in the face. It's a choice, but it's not a personal one. And he was like, oh, well, you're using humans. It's not fair. And I was like, okay. So I start punching dogs and kicking them. Is it a personal choice? And he didn't answer.
That's exactly it. And that's kind of like what they were talking about calling us obviously murderers and rapists. And he says, but like I explained to them, I says, you're associating that with the human forms, because inherently we all know that rape and murder is wrong. We're all bred into believe that, and that's exactly the way it should be. But they're not associating that with animals, so they don't like being obviously called a murderer or a rapist. But you can do it any way you like. When you artificially inseminate an animal against its will, that's rape. When you slit its throat, that's murder. You can call it what you like, but that is what it is.
People, I think people want to just mess about with semantics because it's a long argument. And it's, all these loaded terms. They make people emotional. It's just sad that the words make people more emotional than the actual things happening.
Exactly. I think that's the kind of Jeremy Vine, obviously, I think he kind of really played Joey Carbstrong, to say the least, with putting the bacon sandwich there, because I think that was all a trip to obviously trip him up. And Joey usually is always really, really has himself totally assertive and doesn't cross the line. But I think he did kind of play into that in some ways as well. And it just made, let's say, Joey's not like that, but it made that kind of stereotypical vegan look because he obviously lost the place kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not even necessarily the fact that, it was a dead animal in a sandwich. It's because, we see that all the time. It's quite desensitizing, even though we know what it is. It's just like, ugh. But it's the fact that, the disrespect. Like, he'd been invited on there, and straight away, the Jeremy Vine wanted to, establish his position, in a very snidey way, very, very snidey, just inappropriate.
What kind of gets me is, no matter who the interviewer is, say like they've got on this morning, the other day, the Day 2 Farmers on. Right away, Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby, they were totally against Joey as well. So it's like 4 against 1 all the time. And you get this, especially with Piers Morgan, and when it's on the Good Morning Britain, they'll like shout over you and things like that. So you're not.
Oh, he's a tit. Oh, he is.
He always comes away with the crack that, what you doing? You're wearing leather shoes and this kind of shit. It's everything under the sun. Like I say, it's absolutely shocking.
I know he has to point out things that aren't even applicable or not even true. But yeah, Philip was definitely the best debater in that entire room.
Oh, here's my canine teeth.
She was like, "Where, Philip? Could you, excuse me, where? Like, I can't see them." Just ridiculous, honestly. But I think sometimes people say stuff like that, then they kind of feel like idiots because they're like, "Yeah, no, I couldn't really kill very much with these." Like,
I mean, you know that because, I mean, like, our kind of features with our jaws, the open and close, as well as obviously moving forwards and backwards and obviously side to side, that's actually ideal for biting off things like plant matters and obviously grinding them down with our kind of flat molars. Whereas like carnivores, their lower jaws are actually limited to the kind of side to side motion, and they're open to fix and close, and that obviously adds strength to like rip through fresh and such like. So, I mean, how would you even say something like that?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know where I heard this, I can't remember, but it's like a really large percentage of choking deaths are from eating meat. Exactly. And that's when we chew it. like omnivores, carnivores, you watch them eat meat, they swallow it whole. They don't mess about. We're completely different. I don't know why it's so, like, you know, I work at a vegetarian place, right? My boss was telling me the other day that there was a lady on the phone to him, and she was like, do you sell any meat here? And he was like, no, it's a vegetarian place. She's like, do you cater to carnivores though? She actually said he was blown away. He's not even vegan, but he was blown away. She was like, oh, can I bring some? And he's like, no, not really. But she was so sure that she was like a carnivore that she wouldn't have been able to cope without it being in one of her meals.
That's unbelievable. The thing that gets me recently, I was in the barber's the other day, and the barber started on him. He noticed I had a vegan hat on and that, and he, according to him, us as humans need at least 100 plus grams of protein a day. He says there's no way you can get that in a vegan diet. And I told him, I says, where did you get that information from? I said, we'll actually only need 5% of our actual calories as protein, which would actually mean, like, for example, like somebody that's maybe like a man burning 3,000 calories a day, he would actually need something around like 38 grams of protein. And a woman, like, say, burning maybe, say, 2,000 calories a day would maybe need about 29 grams of protein. And that's the kind of thing that they don't understand. They have this idea that we need like 100 grams of protein. And so what a crap.
100 grams of protein.
I don't know where they get that idea from. That's what he says. He says you need 100 grams of protein, he says, because you'll be suffering from muscle wastage, and there's no way you could get that in a vegan diet. And I was purely arguing with him. Like, I told him, I says you can get it through things like pulses, obviously your beans, your lentils, things like tofu, and obviously your plant-based milks and seeds and things like that. And I say all plants have that, and I told him that, and he says like that. He says, oh, no way. He says you need 100 grams of protein. He says I've had it. My sister was vegan and she had to stop it and go back to eating meat because she was protein deficient.
Right. I'm pretty sure if you're protein deficient, you have a whole host of problems before that.
Exactly.
Right? Like, what the fuck? This is like unplugging a TV all over again.
that was the greatest one ever, unplugging a TV.
Unplugging a TV. Oh.
It reminds you of the switching off of the life support type thing, as if you don't feel it, you know what I mean?
Well, it's a kind of mentality where these animals aren't even real. They're not even part of like existence. They're just kind of a thing, like a table or a chair that you just turn off. You know what I mean?
I know, like, I even remember it in the slaughterhouse and that, when you seen the tears in the animals' eyes and that before they get shot and that. I remember it only too well, and seeing it, and you were just like, they just mocked him as if it was nothing. You know what I mean? It's a total disconnect altogether.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, we are so picky about the animals we eat, so picky, and if we weren't taught to eat certain animals, we'd probably be a bit grossed out by them. Anyway, but
I know that
carnivores are not choosy about if it moves, they're gonna eat it. I don't understand. I think it's just somewhere down the line we've associated plants with being a whiny baby,
yeah.
and being a carnivore with being cool and strong.
See, that's the thing that always kind of upsets me. I was a really big meat eater because I always was, obviously when my past had been a footballer and things, I was eating things like kangaroo, crocodile, bison, everything under the sun, you know what I mean? It just...
Yeah, I've not many animals I can look at and say I haven't eaten, which is sad, deeply. But I don't even know where to begin. Like, how do we move forward with certain people? Like, with people like that?
I think it's a hard one, because what I've been trying to do recently, obviously with the vegan outreach and such likes, is try to relate my talking to them depending on what kind of relates to them, because like, I'll speak about obviously the environment. I don't think there's many people really bother about environment, because the last thing that I had a discussion with this guy, he actually said to me, he says, oh, why the hell should I give a shit about the environment? He says, I'll be dead before the planet ends anyway. He says, so I'm not caring about that. So I think what you've got to really look at is, are they bothered about health? Are they bothered about the animals? Because that's where you've got to kind of try and take it, correlate what's kind of going to relate to them. Is it health? Is it the planet? But it's the same old story. Like I say, some people just don't give a shit about the animals, and you even get some people that don't give a shit about their health. So you sometimes can be in a lost cause. I think it's a case of, if they're ready to hear your message, they'll come to you, and it's, no matter how kind of polite or rude you be towards them, if they're ready for your message, they'll hear it.
You know, sometimes people say things, and it's just like, if you truly are saying that when you clearly do not believe that, how intelligent must you not be? Like, it's hard to like converse with people who will say things like like that guy, 100 grams of protein. Where's he got it from? It's just like, that clearly have not been thought through. It's just, when you say things, they go through your brain and you think about them, you know?
Exactly. It's kind of like the carry on that goes on with my wife, obviously, because with her having cancer and such like, it's been told that she had to go back to red meat, and then especially the dairy side of things, told that she need milk for obviously calcium. And you know yourself, I say, even a bite of cheese, there's around about 35 hormones and 11 growth factors, things like IGF-1 and estrogen and progesterone, and that all, in my opinion, obviously contributes to obviously tumour growth and everything. It's shocking, but that's, people's going to believe the health professionals really over like me, you, or anybody else out there doing like kind of outreach and such. It's hard to get the message across sometimes.
I think you just have to appeal to the intelligent people, the innovators, the leaders, because, you know, people follow leaders, and so if you can inspire those people, they will inspire other people, the people that maybe are just harder to inspire. Like Joey, for example, you know, he's got the charisma of someone who can lead a section. Yeah. So he's probably convincing people that really, you know, really couldn't consider it themselves properly. I'm not sure though.
That's it. I mean, like, people always say to me, but I can't stand outside a slaughterhouse, I can't go speaking to people and such. But at the end of the day, vegan activism takes a lot of different forms, in my opinion, because you just find what you're good at and obviously take it from there. Like, you don't need to be standing outside a slaughterhouse to be a vegan activist. Let's say, just obviously sharing your lifestyle, try to inspire people, just showing how much it obviously helps you and how you're thriving on it. Doing whatever you can, let's say, whether it be through vegan fitness, whether it be through cooking, anything at all. I think that was kind of the collaboration I done with Loss the other day. She was talking about doing things that obviously, because she can't bear witness, because it's too traumatic, and it is for some people. She was talking about doing things that obviously planting little plants outside slaughterhouses and making it a kind of shrine and such, like, so people that are obviously don't feel that they can do that are still being inclusive, and rather it can exclude it for obviously taking part in vigils.
Yeah, that is a good idea. She did mention to me that that'd be something that she'd want to do, and I do think that makes sense, and that's the great thing about veganism, and probably why it's growing so quickly, is there are so many different reasons to be vegan. That it appeals to so many different aspects of life. You know, you got the sports, you got the health, so you got then the food itself, so cooking. You've then got the lifestyle that goes with it. You've got the ethics, and then you've got like the logical community battling it out over, you know, theory and ideology. So it's like you've got all these different sections, and the environment, like, so that there's going to be so many different people. So through that, yeah, there will be so many different methods that you can apply in order to appeal to certain people. And
I suppose the biggest thing I struggle with is obviously my church, because it really annoys me. The way I think of it, they seem to worship the things that's created in God's name, but they don't worship what they believe God created with his hands. So they worship the churches, but they don't worship animals, because a typical example was the other day, my minister come up to me, and I was speaking to her in the door. She shook my hand and she said to me, she says, "Oh, I've been watching a wee bit of your YouTube video." She says, "Great that you're doing all that." She says, "At the end of the day, I think it's great that people are vegan and that." She says, "But I agree that we shouldn't be killing animals." She says, "But I still love my steak pie and my chips."
It's a weird, it's weird that people say that. It's like their go-to, "Oh yeah, good, what you're doing, love it, I agree completely." Like, yeah, but I'm not going to do that.
She's up there preaching that thou shalt not kill, and the 10 Commandments, and you should have love and compassion to everybody, yet she's clearly not showing that. I mean, you just don't know, because I mean, if you can't believe somebody that's up there preaching that, it's just shocking, really.
Yeah, I mean, Vegan Again said, "I love Tim Sheaf's recent advice: activism through science, art, health, etc. Appeal to folks' nature in a positive way, and they will also respond." Yeah, like Tim Sheaf's section, it's all like spirituality and you know, bodily awareness and whatnot. Like, there are so many different sections, and as well, like with religion, I suppose veganism ties into that. You know, you can have religious vegans who do take the "thou shalt not kill" very seriously.
That's exactly part of my belief. Like I said, like I explained to her the other day, she says, "Oh, I do believe that you vegans are probably, it's a religion." I says, "Well, it's not a religion," but I says, "but I can probably see why you think it's religion." I says, "Because if you can imagine it, like an apostle, he like a disciple, he takes God's message and carries it and preaches it, and then the apostle takes that message and carries it out into the world." That's similar to vegan. Let's say we follow the movement and we take that message and we carry it out into the world. So I can understand why they kind of think that, like you're an apostle of being vegan kind of thing.
Yeah, so what would you say? Because with religion, right?
Yeah,
it's like it's more Buddhism and Jainism. I just saw Vegan Again said, "I'm blessed I was raised Buddhist. I was taught at a young age we should love and respect all sentient beings. We have folk bring their dogs in the temple for blessings too." Like, I don't know about with Christianity, is it like that in the sense where it's because I remember singing when I was a kid, because my school was kind of religious, so we had to sing hymns, like all creatures great and small.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
People, I remember that song like it was yesterday. All creatures great and small, the Lord God made them all. And it's just like, okay, well, that doesn't matter. I'm gonna have a bacon sandwich.
I know. I mean, even in a sermon the other day at the end of it, when she was doing the prayer and such, like she was saying things like, oh, we pray for all the people suffering in our family. We pray for all the starving people all along the world. And she says, please give us answers how we can stop people being starving all over the world. I says, well, you probably start with that. We stop rearing bloody animals for food, and that's the truth of it.
I know. I don't understand. Like again with the debate I had last night, Stizer kept saying that I was rich, and I was just, that annoys me more than anything because of my accent. Sometimes when I'm giving it my large da, people assume that I have money, and it pisses me off because I don't at all. I never have. Never.
Sometimes you struggle to even put on the electricity and the gas because
I know. I don't. I literally sit in my house with like 10 different blankets because the heating's ridiculously expensive. I can't turn on the gas. And it was just, there's this misconception that, oh, because you're vegan, you can afford all this shit. And it's just like, no, actually, this has cut my bill by a third, I think.
That's it. I mean, I always tell people that's the kind of misconception to have about being vegan, that you obviously need to be loaded to be vegan, but at the end of the day, your staples like your beans, your rice, your seeds, your legumes, if you want to live in them, they're cheap. Obviously, processed foods are obviously a that bit more expensive, but like any lifestyle, it can be as cheap or as expensive as you want to make it.
I know, exactly. And I feel more than anything, it limits the choice so that I don't go crazy with my supermarket spending, because I'm always hungry, and you shouldn't go shopping when you're hungry.
Definitely. The thing that I actually seem to spend a lot of money on each week is like my almond milk and oat milk and such. I get through about 2 cartons of that a day, so I'm roughly spending...
Really? Jesus Christ.
20 quid a week easily just in plant-based milks.
You need to do the 4-gallon milk challenge that Logan was proposing.
I'm up for that, definitely.
He wants for Februdairy everyone to get a plant-based milk and just like chug it down. But your stomach can only handle 4 gallons. Wait, no, less than that. And that's why it's funny. Yeah, no, I think with Februdairy, oh my god, it's nearly o'clock already. I think with Februdairy, our best bet is to just be reasonable, because our stereotype is what these people rely on heavily. They want us to be nasty. They want us to be all these things, because if we are, nobody listens. But if we're reasonable, they might have a point. I'll listen to what they have to say. So we have to continue to be reasonable. And I've had a lot of clashes recently with vegans. I mean, there was someone who commented on my... I made a tweet, and it said, I would love to ask people who wear real fur just why the hell they think that's acceptable.
I know.
And some guy commented on it, replied like a vegan, and was like, "Oh, I'd love their skin to be ripped off from them when they're alive, like just so they could see how it feels." And I was just like, "Oh my god, you don't even realize that is so hypocritical," and it really doesn't make us look good. It makes us look crazy, like the whole fur hag thing. But it doesn't make us look okay. Like, we have to be reasonable in every way, shape, and form.
Exactly, and it's the same old story. There's bad people in all walks of life, and no mentioning any names, but we know a couple that stay here in Scotland. It's crazy in the vegan community. It's stalked us, but
really, vegans, you know, that there are a certain group of vegans that honestly that I've met, and I wouldn't want near anyone. Like, they're not okay. But yeah, that's the thing. In every group, you're going to get these people. But unfortunately, when you're in a group that people don't necessarily understand or like, every move you make represents their opinion of that label.
Exactly.
Everything.
What I say, veganism is a representation of the people that obviously are in the movement itself. So
exactly. And I think that's mainly why the whole calling yourself a vegan when you're not a vegan thing, that's why it feels uncomfortable for me, because as soon as you take that label, you represent.
I think that's why some people don't actually call themselves vegan that actually are vegan, because they don't want that kind of label.
Exactly. It's a weight to bear, because then everyone in your life, you know, it makes it an issue. And I wish it wasn't the case and that it was just us making it an issue. But no, people do.
I suppose that's nearly time for you to go. You're quite busy anyway, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I've got a busy day ahead. I'm free like later tonight, but I've got so many videos to edit later on.
Definitely chat again anyway, definitely.
Yeah, maybe we should just do continuous short segments. I think that would be good, like once a week or something like that. I'd be up for that if you would.
Definitely, yeah.
Of course.
We've got our collaboration thing for the...
We do, yeah. Yeah, you want that tomorrow?
We'll put it out Monday, maybe.
Yeah, Monday, yeah.
We'll do it Monday.
Wait. Yeah, no, that works. That does work.
Whatever works for you.
Okay. Oh wait, no, that's I'm trying to make every Monday the VDDS highlights. Right. So maybe
go for Saturday then.
Saturday. That works. All right. Well, thank you for having me on. Thank you, everyone in the comments.
Pleasure. And anybody that hasn't subscribed, please go and subscribe to Elliot. I do see you all well already. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you very much. I'm going to put my little name in the chat there. Come on, guys. I'm nearly at 1,000. I'm going to hit that mark. Sorry. I've been waiting on the spot.
In the description below after this video is uploaded as well. So.
Yeah, thank you ever so much, Tommy. I'm gonna head off now. Thank you for having me, and we'll sort out some more collabs. Just have them going on the go. Everyone will know Tofu Tommy on my channel. I'll see you later.
See you later. Right, guys, thanks very much for joining in. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like I say, if you haven't already, please go and subscribe to Ellie. She's absolutely amazing. She's got content out there, really, really inspirational, very, very information-based as well, fact-based. Remember, as I always say, binge on life, purge negativity and starve guilty feelings, and I'll speak to you all in the next video.